All right, good afternoon and welcome to Sportstalk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. Boy, it's been a time. We've been having a time. It's been a time. And I mean, NBA, West Indies playing cricket. Today is a Champions League finals. Of course, Chelsea won the Conference League. I mean, as expected, right? Right. Even though, as I said, it kind of feels a little, I don't know. I'm excited that we've won the trophy, but since we've already qualified for the Champions League next season, okay, all right, fine. We'll finish the season with a silverware. That's good. And of course, we're going to be having a special guest joining us on the second half of the show. So you want to stick and stay for that. Jamaica currently participating, and that's the Reggae Boys, currently participating in the Unity Cup happening in London. So that's going on as well. I know the last time I checked the score, which was just a few seconds ago, it was still Jamaica 2, Nigeria 2 at full time. So so I'll keep you posted on that and so many other things happening in the sporting world. As I said, we have a special guest joining us for the second half of this show, so you want to stick and stay for that. I mean, lots and lots of excitement, lots and lots of happenings going on in the world of sports. Of course, our reggae girls too, they will be participating, or not participating, but playing their friendly against the USA. That comes up later today as well. Kareem, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm not bad at all. Let me tell you, viewers, I host Sports Talk. I have a real funny story today. So Um, for those of you who don't know, recreationally, I play netball, but I haven't played in like, I'm gonna say 2 years. I had a training this morning, and trust me, it is crazy because I'm like, oh my god, we have a competition next week that we're participating in, and let me tell you, your girl's very unfit, but I'm pushing through as the real sports talk host, taking part in sports and keeping up to date with all the other sports. It's just crazy, 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 crazy. Oh boy, I tell you. But yeah, uh, the reggae girls. They, as I was saying, they will face the USA in a friendly game. Of course, the USA top ranked team there. They'll face the USA. I mean, of course, the French. Well, if you don't know, the French Open is also happening. I might not be able to give you all the results, but the French Open has started. And the reason why I've started like that is because officially, I mean, and if you live on the rock, maybe, but Rafael Nadal has retired from tennis. It's been a few months now. I don't think he's participated in anything since 2024, but he is 14-time French Open champion, and the Roland Garros, they did a special thing for him sometime last week, and they were able to get what we call the top four in tennis, or some people say the top three, and Andy Murray. But I'll tell you, so Roland Garros, they did so now Nadal has a spot on the main court at the French Open, and it was good to see Roger Federer, who you guys know is my favorite, Novak Djokovic, Andy Murray, and Rafael Nadal, who was so it was good to see them be able to get the three gentlemen who Rafael Nadal would have played against the most. And people are saying, oh, but Roger has so many titles, and Nadal has so many titles, and Novak has so many titles. Well, he's the only one that's currently actively playing. Novak, that is, Andy Murray is currently his coach. But and they're like, oh, why is some persons are like, why is Andy Murray involved? People, it only means that if they were winning titles, they had to beat somebody, and the beating stick was Andy Murray. So that is how Andy Murray. For me, because a lot of these finals that either Roger was playing against Nadal, Novak was playing against Nadal, Andy Murray was playing against Nadal in finals, or they were playing against them in semifinals. A lot of competitions throughout, I mean, in the span of, I think, 10 years, 10 to 12 years, the only semifinalists were were these gentlemen, all four of them. And not only that, but in terms of when you talk about being number one, I think, was it, it's like they still have the record for all four of them holding the number one title, I think probably over 12 years. That's no easy, that's no easy feat, especially in the world of tennis where things are always changing. And even though Roger Federer is my favorite, Nadal has been a very good competitor over the years, and to see him being recognized at Roland Garros really brings some joy to my heart. And it was good to see all four of them together. Of course, as I said, Novak is now currently being coached by Andy Murray. So that's also crazy, because this is somebody. I mean, Andy Murray and Novak could have played against each other for so long, um, and to see him now being coached by Andy Murray, I mean, it's just one of those things. But yeah, so that's happening in the world of tennis. As I said, the Roland Garros has started. It's now we are now in should be round, tell you shortly. We're now in the round of 32. So, keep you posted. I know Coco Goff is still there, and Zhang is still there. Madison Keys is still in the competition. Sabalenka, Rebanka, all of those top players are still there. So we're looking forward to seeing the results. I suppose next week we'll have a little bit more information, because by that time we'll have either the semi-finals and the finals coming up for both the men and women's competition happening there in the French Open. Yeah. All right. So let's skip now, because as I said, today is a big day. Or maybe I should leave that for later. Today is a big day. For those who want to keep posted in the Unity Cup finals, um, maybe I should just keep you guys posted on that. So I'll go back to that each time. The Reggae Boys. So first, let's talk about their game against Trinidad and Tobago, and how the Jamaican crowd, they were fantastic. I mean, Trinidad came out to earlier this week, but the Jamaica crowd, they were fantastic. In the Brentford Stadium, boys, they were able to secure a 3-2 win over Trinidad earlier this week. And as I said, they are currently playing in the finals against Nigeria. It's currently penalties. In the penalty shootout so far, Jamaica has scored two, and Nigeria has scored two. So it's still even Stevens between both teams. Right. So Jamaica won 3-2 earlier this week against Trinidad and Tobago. And Coach McLaren spoke about the heart of the team, and the most of these players, the US based players, the Jamaican players, this was their first time playing in the UK. In the last time Jamaica played in the UK was a very long time ago. I think it was back in 2014. So over 10 years or so since the Reggae Boys has played in the UK. So for the UK based players who had their families there to be able to see them down the Jamaican colors. I mean, obviously they play club football, but to see them down the Jamaican colors, and also for some of our young reggae boys, including the local based players who would have just participated in the Jamaica Premier League, to make that trip over to the UK to be able to don the Jamaican colors. Very, very important. And from all the pictures and the videos and just the game energy, I mean, be able to watch the game and the energy we've received from, or they have received from the fans. I know a lot of Jamaicans are. Oh, right. A lot of Jamaican fans have been waiting, patiently waiting on the Reggae Boys to come to play in come to play in the UK, and for that to happen, I know was very significant. And I'm hoping that outside of the Unity Cup, that the Reggae Boys will get more competition or get more game time outside of Jamaica. Um, right, they'll get more game time outside of Jamaica. It's currently the penalty shootout is still happening between Jamaica and Nigeria. So far, I think this looks to me, based on what I'm counting, that Nigeria has won. Yes, they've won 5-4 on penalties, as Dwayne Atkinson missed his penalty in the penalty shootout. So it seems to me that Nigeria has won the Unity Cup final, which, as I said, you guys know how my standpoint is with penalties. Penalties is not necessarily, when you get to penalties, it's not necessarily about football, but it is about the mental, and which team is able to keep, in terms of keep focused, and the mental fortitude is shown in penalties, right? So yes, Nigeria has won the Unity Cup 2025, beating the Reggae Boys 5-4 on penalties after the regular time ended 2-2. The Reggae Boys goals came from Kaheem Dixon and Kaheem Dixon in the 12th minute and John Russell in the 63rd minute. I mean, this is a very good showing for the Reggae Boys in the Unity Cup, and we're really, really hoping that the Unity Cup is something that will be invited, that the Reggae Boys will be invited to again. And hopefully from this, I'm hoping, I don't know about anybody else, but my hope is that some of our local players who are playing in the Unity Cup will catch the eye of maybe a championship team or some other team in Europe will be there watching them. I won't call any names, but I have a particular player that I'm hoping that from this games, I don't know if the two games is enough, but I'm hoping that they will get some sort of um deal to play to play in Europe, some part in Europe, and I'm hoping that it works out, not just to represent, in terms of that they're representing Jamaica too, but their club at the club level, they'll get a contract out of this. We're gonna go for our first break on Sports Talk. When we come back, we're gonna be talking about some Champions League and looking into the Champions League finals that is to come, as well as to look back at the Conference League finals as well. We will be right back right here on Sports Talk.
It's the Media Madness sale at Home and Things. 2 days only. This Friday and Saturday only. Get 25 to 75% off every single item in store. From tiles, bathroom fixtures and vanities, windows and doors, hardware, home decor and more. 2 days only. 25 to 75% off every single item in store. These deals are too good to miss. Hurry now to Home and Things, Old Hope Road and Constant Spring Road for the Media Madness sale. This one I go mad. Alright, we're going to do a roll call.
The Love Jockey is on duty every Saturday inside Youth Connection. Don't miss the hype. Don't miss the tunes. Don't miss the excitement with your boy, DJ Rebirth. Saturdays at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the family station, Love 101. At 3 p.m., your DJ runs the gospel rhythms. Hot, hot. Tune in at 4 p.m. for a time where we share a word to grow your mind. GYM? Grow your mind? Jim. Get it? Grow your mind. And at 4:30 p.m., we share with you how young people are giving all their time and fulfilling their purpose inside Ministry in Action. We get a taste of poetry and spoken word inside Poetry and Praise. And you get to send us a WhatsApp message and request your favorite gospel song inside Gospel Faves at 5. All this and more every Saturday at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. with your love jock, your boy, DJ Rebirth. It's all here on the family station, Love 101.
Youth connection. Shubopti and them figured him provide everything I'm guide we pan we chat. Shubopti and them figured him alone make we appear when we did chat. Hey, hey.
On the next episode of Family Time, it's part 2 of our conversation on breaking the stigma. Mental health matters. Join host Tamika Scott Walters and guests Christopher Laurie and Pastor Luke Smith as they explore how culture, family, and even our systems shape how we see mental health. We're busting the myths like men shouldn't cry and women must hold it all together. All while hearing real stories, real tools, and real hope. Don't miss it. That's Family Time, Monday, June 2 at 5:30 p.m. Family Time, brought to you by Love 101 in association with Family Life Ministries. Family Time is on the family station, Love 101. Next time on The Rock, we're digging into marriage traditions. Pastor Christopher Kennedy, Azan Aziz, and Donald Stewart join the conversation as we unpack where our wedding traditions come from. Rings, vows, attire, candles, and more. Are these traditions biblical, cultural, or just man-made? And what happens when we challenge them? From church weddings to giveaway parents, we're asking, why do we do what we do? And what does the Bible really say? Plus, a piece of my mind. What's this week's hot topic? Could be crime, health, education, or a total curveball. Tune in and find out. That's The Rock, Tuesday, June 3 at 10 a.m. right here on the family station, Love 101.
All right, welcome back to Sportstalk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. And of course, we are talking about in this segment the Champions League finals between Paris Saint-Germain and Inter Milan. We're gonna look at some things that you need to know. All right, so let's start with this. So this will be the first Champions League meeting between the clubs and only the second final between teams from France and Italy after the 1992-1993 decider where Marcel defeated Milan 1-0, and that match was also played in Munich. All right, so Paris, that's Paris Saint-Germain, they're aiming to go one better in 2020 when they lost to Bayern Munich, who lifted the trophy then in Lisbon. They have the three-time winners, who is Inter Milan. They last lifted the trophy in 2010. So that's over 50, well, that's just about 15 years ago since they would have taken down Manchester City. Right. Manchester City. Now, Paris, they have had an interesting journey, right? They had a shaky start, and they played the knockout round that pretty much ignited them. And then, of course, we know those games against Arsenal, which was very much so interesting. So, I've been asked this week, who am I bringing for the Champions League finals? And honestly, I do not know. I don't know. I'm undecided. Can I say that? Anyways, we continue now with the facts of the game. Paris, they're through. They are the third French team to win the finals of the, or to reach the finals of the European Cups and Champions League. Other French teams were able to do it in 1956. 1955, 1956, 1959, 1958, 1990, 1990, 1991, and 1992, 1993. That's crazy. Very, very crazy. This will be the seventh European Cup or Champions League finals that have won 10 games in this edition. Their best total in the season in UEFA competition. So, they're going on with themselves. All right. So, and then all right, maybe I'll give you a little bit more on that. But let's look at the head to head between the two teams. I mean, there's no real head to head, is there? Because since they are reaching this, so this in a long while, let's still see. I'm sure I have that information because yeah. All right, all right, all right. Of course, we know who they would have beaten to get here, but let's look at it. Currently, Paris Saint-Germain, they have 4 wins, no losses so far, and Inter Milan, when they score first, when they're the first to score, they've won 6 out of 6 times. Inter Milan, when they've scored in the first half, they've won 5 out of 5 times. That's very interesting. That's like, so it means that in terms of how the teams will line up, I think it will be a very open game because I think based on what we've seen in the semifinals, that the teams will be playing very, very open, I believe. And I believe that this is a Champions League that will give us a lot of goals. I don't think this is going to come down to penalties, in my opinion. I don't think this game is going to come down to penalties. But let's hear what the coach had to say in terms of Paris Saint-Germain coach. He said that we've grown a lot this season and that the players have progressed a lot. He thinks that the strength of the team is the most important thing. And he also says that, they learned something every day after his years of experience as a coach, and he's improving all the time with the team. Of course, Paris Saint-Germain's coach, that's Louis Enrique. He said the motivation for him to win the Champions League for the first time. This is motivation for him to win the Champions League for the first time with Paris Saint-Germain. He wants this to be a gift to the team, for the club, and for the city. He says his team knows how to unpick teams like this and how to get a tight-knit defense to unravel. And he's very, very optimistic. No, the Paris Saint-Germain captain says he don't want to let this opportunity pass him by. It's really over to get the job. It's really to get the job over and done with, and also to win the trophy and to bring it back to their supporters in Paris. For Inter Milan, coach says that his players are determined. They're not obsessed. And because they don't want, obviously, to be too obsessed that they get too caught up in the moment and then they kind of struggle in the finals, which we would have seen certain teams, or what we'll call the favorite team, coming in and be overpowered by the team that is not the favorite because of obsession. Let's just call it that. Yes. He says that he didn't do it as a player, but he thanks his group of players at Inter Milan who is allowing him in his second in 3 years as a coach, right? He says we need to face Paris knowing that there will be moments in which we will suffer and other moments in which we'll have the ball and they'll need to defend. Details are the key moments. And of course, from Martinez, the Inter Milan captain, he said, I've won big trophy, but I'm missing the Champions League. And he says he's happy to be in another final and he wants it to be the perfect game and to bring back the trophy to Milan. And obviously, from both those statements, you can see that both captains and coaches, they know exactly what they want. They know exactly what they want to do. And obviously, they'll be hoping to bring back the trophy both either to Paris or to Milan. And I'm sure it will be a very interesting battle. Very, very interesting battle. And I don't think, even with English teams out of the not being in the finals, I'm still very excited for the Champions League final. I think Champions League final, no matter what team is playing, brings a different aura. It brings a different spirit to the game of football. And I think maybe the most watch could be the most watch in terms of outside of when World Cup football, because everybody wants to be a part of Champions League or be able to watch Champions League and be a part of that. All right, so with a few minutes that we have in this segment, let's talk about the game, the Conference League final with Real Betis and Chelsea. Of course, you guys know Chelsea's my side, so I'm very happy that we've won the Conference League. And I know, one thing I can say that I'm positive about. I'm sure that after the 90th minute when Real Betis score, a lot of persons who thought, okay, this is the easy win for Chelsea. They were like, okay, fine, they're not going to watch the game. I'm sure after Real Betis score, a lot of persons started to tune into the game, which is so interesting because now they're looking for Chelsea to lose, right? But fortunately for us, Chelsea didn't. Goals coming in, after Real Betis scored in the 9th minute, Chelsea, they were able to score all their goals in the second half, by the way, starting with Endo Fernandez in the 65th minute, then Jackson in the 70th minute, Sancho in the 83rd minute, and then a 90-plus minute goal from Casido in 90-plus time. What's so interesting is that a lot of these players who scored in the conference in the UEFA Conference League, right? The final is a lot of players that if you know what's going on at the Chelsea camp, it's a lot of players that we don't want to keep. We kind of want to send back Sancho to Manu. We don't think that these players, of course, Cole Palmer had 2 assists, but maybe 3 or 4 of these players that scored in the week, we don't think that they worked as hard during the season. So I don't know if turning up to the finals like this was them trying to convince the club to stay with them, but all will be done. All will be said. We'll find out about this very, 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 very soon. But I'm happy that Chelsea won the Conference League title. Of course, as I said, it doesn't mean anything because if we did not qualify for Champions League, we'd have to finish 6th in the table. Not to do that, we finished 4th. So we've qualified for the Champions League next season. Usually the winner of this competition qualifies for the Europa League. I think Real Betis has already done that. So I think it's some side in France, somewhere down one part, that will get that spot. Seeing that Chelsea is already in the Champions League. So yeah, that's it. The Champions League comes up at 2:00, which is at the top of the hour. So wherever you are, if you're still driving, I'm saying, go tune into the Champions League so that we can tear it apart or break it down next week. When we come back, as I said, we're going to be having a special guest joining us. So you want to stick and stay. Sportstalk will be right back.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. you need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
This Emancipation Day, experience a night of powerful praise and purpose. CC Winans brings her More Than This tour to Jamaica with Chevelle Franklin, Kevin Downswell, Prince Saj, Jean-Marc Wigan, hosted by It Ellis and Nadine Blair. Gates open 2 p.m., showtime 5 p.m. Tickets at select outlets island-wide or online at SpurOpen.com. Follow at More Than This Jamaica on Instagram for updates. CC Winans, Friday, August 1, live at King's House East Lawns. Powered by RJR Gleaner Group, Grace Kennedy, Guardian Life, Love 101 FM, Hawkeye, and other partners. Every Saturday, 7 p.m. to midnight on Love 101. You're invited to travel in time with music at its best. It's the Gospel Music Machine with the Gospel Music Master, Nigel Wilkinson. From your favorite choir music to Christian contemporary, a touch of reggae and the Caribbean feel.
The Gospel Music Machine with Nigel Wilkinson on Love.
Nigel play the tune.
Yep, the Gospel Music Master is still playing the tunes down alone. And he's definitely your music master. Saturdays, 7 p.m. to midnight. You won't regret the link. It's on the family station, Love 101.
That is all I need.
Are you interested in what happens in the world of sports? Do you want to hear from athletes and coaches as they talk about their perspectives? Join me, Kathya, right here on the family station Love 101 FM for Sportstalk every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. That's Sportstalk 1 to 2 p.m. right here on the family station Love 101. All right, welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. And we are now joined by the new marketing manager at the Jamaica Football Federation, Miss Avery Campbell. Avery, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm all right. A little defeated right now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Same.
But,
Same.
I'm all right.
All right. Good. All right. So Avery, who is the new marketing manager at JFF, she comes to talk to us, and I think we're gonna have a very interesting conversation because, first of all, I think she is the first female marketing manager for the Jamaica Football Federation. You're not?
Not me.
You're not? Okay, cool. All right. But I mean, when a federation changes its marketing to somebody who, I think you are the first who persons would have seen your work before they would have seen you, the person, and go, okay, so she's the one that does this. Because right. And I think that's what I meant to what I meant to say. So I know Avery from work that she would have done with the PFJL and JPL. And of course, having seen her work, and I was like, I had to be like, Owen, who do you have working with you? Because the work that was being done was top tier. And then I found out, and I was like, this is just like such a small person. Like, how does she balance doing all of this? And so we're gonna find out a little bit more about you, and then maybe if you'd like to tell us some of the plans that you have for the Jamaica Football Federation. I mean, I think we've seen some of it already, or some impact of it already, but yeah, first tell us who is Avery Campbell, like where are you from, give us some information on you.
Well, hello again. Avery Campbell. Went to school. Everything I did in Jamaica. So went to school, went to the Queen School, went to UE, then started working. I taught swimming. I was a sporty girl before being more on the admin side. Did track and field, swimming, gymnastics. Like I dabbled into a lot of things to the point that I started teaching swimming and moved into marketing. So I did UE Marketing Association. I was the the vice president at UA. So that's where marketing came into my life a little bit more. And then Avery continued in sports and being around sports, which led her to PFJL because I studied entertainment and cultural enterprise management, so event management and all the jazz. I didn't know where I was gonna land because my dad is a music producer, so my first love is entertainment and music and culture. But a part of culture is sports, arts and language and all of that. So here I landed, bam, at the PFGL, and at PFGL we did events like the Link Up. We started that knockout competition. We did the Premier League, which is Jamaica Premier League. I did that for three and a half seasons. We innovated a lot there, which exposed us to Bumel Classical, Powerade Rematch, VM Champions Tour. So we did a lot of things. Got sponsors. The whole point of me is to have done that. And so Avery, that's where she's from. That's a very synopsis like version of where I'm coming from to how I ended up right here.
Yeah.
And yeah, and now I'm at the
All right.
jail.
Now you're at the JFF. Tell us now, how has the transition been? Because now it's PFJL and you're working with the different clubs and thing, but this is now the national setup. How has the transition been for you so far?
Well, I knew long before everybody did, and so mentally, I don't think I could have been prepared like to the T, but it was rocky at first because I really loved the JPL. I still do love the JPL, and it is my aspiration to, transcend in the sport. So not necessarily that Premier League is where I would have been forever, but because I left in the middle of the season, the transition was like hot and cold. So it's like, okay, you're quickly having to elevate in many ways, quickly learn, absorb, and morph into the person that we represent on behalf of Jamaicans and the
Mm-hmm.
nations. At first, Rocky, but KFJ supported me 100%. There is no itch or glitch in the whole opportunity. So that helped. And then, I just was welcomed into a new world, new players, new level, new devil, all of that type of thing coming up. So transition, I think it never stops.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk. Let's get into a little bit more of what we can expect from you as the new marketing manager. Of course, as I said, your work precedes you. So I know there are a lot of people out there expecting a great. I don't want to say great turnaround, but a big turnaround and all of this for the JFF. Tell me a little bit more of what you can share in terms of what we can expect for you. Maybe I'd say in the next 6 to 12 months, maybe what you have in store.
Okay, so so far a lot of things are relationship based because perception of the JFF. Everybody knows, everybody has something to say about it, and to shift it means to do, not necessarily promise, and which is why you haven't seen me go out and be like, oh, this is my mandate, this is my vision, because we all know what the vision is. The vision is the people's vision. The vision is the vision of the players. We all know what the vision is. It's actually to prove that it can be done. So what my plans are is to prove anything that comes to your mind that you're like, oh, the JFF should work on that in the space of marketing and commercializing it. To go a little further, that includes sponsorship. That's number one, something that we have dived into. The partners we have on board, Ray and Nephew, to Just Bet, to Stewart's Auto Parts. We have St. Mary's, we have Water Power Aid, and True Shade under the single brand, and some others to launch. Those are a lot of renewed partners that we are, in its truest sense, renewing the relationship. So starting from scratch, um, you know, understanding what was the issue before, understanding how can we solve it, how can we both win. So that leads into us having sponsors being visible at the games with booths, giveaways online, just like that collaborative effort to push the word of the games. Just Bet, for example, has betting on the games for Unity Cup, and that's our partner. You're gonna see more awareness as well of what we're doing. So sponsorship, that's one. And communication is a big thing. It's my strong point because I had to get relationships for the JPL and maintain it. For the JFF, the intention is to communicate to the fans, communicate to the sponsors, communicate to everyone so that you guys could all be a part of the experience. So it's not just the men, it's women. It's not just the men and the women, it's the youth. So we had World FIFA Week and we went and had an activation. We did a video, it's on our social media. We signed off with the British High Commission. We did a video communicating, letting you guys know what's happening, keeping in the loop, advancing the relationship with media as well, because JFF has its internal media sources and we're launching that out, because before you'd have to be hunting down a journalist, you'd have to be doing all of that. So heavily communication. You can go on our Facebook and you see albums ever since my tenure, because I don't have anything from before like to in that order, but I know that is emotion. We're gonna have our Facebook albums. You're gonna get to see the faces of the players. We want to give you reels. We started JFF Golden Moments, so the content, we're switching up the content. We've launched JFF Live, which is our YouTube
Which is
channel.
something that I was just about to ask you about. So just tell the viewers, because I think a lot of persons are seeing JFF Live, but I don't think
They
they've
know
really
what
tapped
it is.
into the realness of what JFF Live is. So
It is.
go ahead.
So JFF Live is just our digital extension. That's where we have our live streams. That's where we have sponsored giveaways, goodie bags, special invitations to watch parties if we are hosting one, special invitation to JFF events, and that type of thing. It's a relationship through communication, which is streamed through YouTube. So you can just go on YouTube, JFF Live, and we've made sure to go on every platform, and you can find all of our social media in our bio. So whether you're on WhatsApp, we have a WhatsApp channel. Whether you're on Instagram, we have an Instagram channel and the Instagram page. We have where you can get live updates. Today we had live updates of the games, what's happening, direct links, just that relationship. So JFF Live is a hub on YouTube that offers the inside or as close as possible information on the JFF, the Reggae Boys, the Reggae Girls, the youth teams, and even what we do administratively. So we had the coaches at Unity Club got to go to a tour at Brentford Community Stadium in London, and we're sharing that information with you guys. So in the next 6 months, those tools will be used to really amplify just that national support and work on the perception of JFF, because we do care about the boys. I know I do. My heart drop out of my hand today for the boys, and we know the girls are coming up June 3rd, so that will be streamed on JFF Live. You can just watch it. The feed is good. There's commentary. There was commentary for Unity Cup, and you get to watch the whole tournament. So that's what JFF Live is like. You get it there, and it is a monthly subscription situation. And so that's something we'll be building out more on. We've also launched, I'll give you this tidbit because it's not launched. The Snapchat.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you to hold the thought. We're gonna stay with you, Avery. We're gonna go for a break. We're up on our break. We're gonna go for a break right here on Sports Talk. That's fine. We're gonna go for a break right here on Sports Talk. We're gonna come right back and finish up this conversation with the marketing manager at the Jamaica Football Federation, Avery Campbell. We'll be right back.
It's the Media Madness sale at Home and Things. 2 days only. This Friday and Saturday only. Get 25 to 75% off every single item in store. From tiles, bathroom fixtures and vanities, windows and doors, hardware, home decor, and more. 2 days only. 25 to 75% off every single item in store. These deals are too good to miss. Hurry now to Home and Things, Woolworth Road and Constant Spring Road for the Media Madness sale. This one I go mad.
The government will invest $2 billion to enhance key entrance corridors leading into the capital city, creating a more attractive and welcoming gateway.
It's all about first impressions, and these upgrades will enhance infrastructure, improve connectivity, and create a positive image for visitors and residents.
Kingston are the capital city, and anywhere you're coming from must look good.
Brought to you by the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation.
Get your inspiration for the day.
It's time to fill your cup with a blend of hope and inspiration. Join me, Nadine Blair, weekdays, Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Morning Express, your mid-morning sanctuary on Love 101. We'll take you through carefully chosen music to soothe your soul, with thoughtful words to uplift your spirit, programs and features for growth and upliftment. Tune in and be encouraged. Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Morning Express with Nadine Blair, right here on your family station, Love 101.
We will take you higher on the Morning Express. On the Morning Express. Oh, yeah.
Me wish me could have talked to somebody about my problem. But me don't know if me ready for everybody know see I'm me.
Why not text in your problem and hear what the suggestions are? We have a safe space for you to share your truth and to get the help you need.
Really? Where?
On Soul Talk, confessions and reflections in a live every Monday at 3 p.m. Submit your detailed message to 876-424-3642 or send an email to producer@love101.org and state if you prefer to remain anonymous. Choose from our categories: confession of regret, confession of gratitude, confession of weakness, confession of love, confession of conflict. By sharing your story, you'll not only find freedom but also receive advice, guidance, and solutions from our community of listeners who care.
I got text scene right now. Join the journey to healing, forgiveness, and breakthrough. Soul Talk, confessions and reflections. Because sometimes the hardest truth leads to the greatest breakthrough.
Only on the family station, Love 101.
All right, welcome back to Sportstalk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. And we are still with the marketing manager of the Jamaica Football Federation, Miss Avery Campbell. And she was just about to give us some information. So we're going to continue. Go ahead, Avery.
So now I'm trying to track back where I left off. But we have a lot of things in store for this year that will help the perception we want to incorporate. From my background, which is very cultural, we want to involve dancing, so dancing competitions. We have or youth engagements and activations that are happening for FIFA Football Week, so you get to see more of that, and it's not just the known, more eyes on the players, so you guys can know their names, can get familiar with their personality. I was telling you about the Snapchat. So the Snapchat, which would be the player playground, you get to see behind the scenes what's going on in camp. They get to talk to you there, and you guys have a relationship. So just the culture of marketing, the way we reach out to the spectators, and then the event itself. The event having a 360 booth, having a wonderful sponsor inclusive VIP section and entertaining bleachers. We have more people wearing our jersey now, so we will be capitalizing on that and doing some giveaways, which hasn't been done to my observation in a while, if ever. So the federation will end up going out and also seeking fans to come and become super fans and offer packages to have that type of experience. I don't want to dive too much into that. But there is an app on the way. There is an updated website on the way, and just way more visibility island wide. So not just the boards that you're seeing, hopefully you're seeing them out there, but some murals out there, and include the nation basically, and trying to reach to every corner of Jamaica. So it's an improved look, I'd say we can expect.
Definitely.
I hope that, and I know for I've been here for the Trinidad game. We had the game at Sabino. Um, that was amazing. Like it was so amazing. It gave me so much hope for the game that is coming up, especially with these fresh faces that you're seeing. You're seeing a lot of fresh faces.
Yes, we
You're
are.
seeing the momentum of football also being so fun because we had JPL, which just ended, and it's just non-stop representation. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope everybody comes out on Juneteenth, especially if you're in Jamaica at that time. Because if you're not, you can watch it on JFF Live, so you won't miss out. And it, let me not actually don't hold me to the JFF Live for the World Cup qualifiers, but for the
Sure.
reggae girls, for
For
sure, we.
sure. Okay. No problem. All right. So talk to me now because I'm sure this also was a part of your work, the JFF having a brand ambassador. I think that's something that's new. I
Yes.
didn't see it before. Talk to me
Mhm.
about, this, well, tell us about the
Appointment.
new brand, the right of the new
So
ambassador.
So that the JFF's ambassador is Tanuli Perkins, and she is on board to help support us with that sponsorship side of things, to garner those relationships, tie them down. With her expertise and her relationships that she would have had through her network, we're seeing where we get to have the partners more present, a part of things, some new names, and just building out that corporate relationship um, with her. So that is our brand
Yeah,
ambassador. And as you may know, she is an athlete manager as well. And she
she is. Yes,
manages
yes.
Andre Blake and Damian Lowe. And so she has been in the game. She has legs in sports mark. So she's on board to help support the team and make it strong because more brains and more youthful names are better than anything else.
Indefinitely. And listeners, if you've been listening, a point that Avery continues to go back to is changing the perception. And I think over the last, few months, few weeks, I think the perception of the JFF is currently changing. And I can tell you from like a media standpoint, feel so included in some of the processes, and you're like, wow, do these things actually. So it's
Yes.
obviously from my point of view, as a fan and as being in media, the inclusiveness is very important for us, and we feel
Yeah,
connected to the brand. We feel like it's no or reggae boys. Before, it
exactly.
kind of felt like it was the JFF and we were trying to get into the door. No, 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 it definitely feels as if, and especially as we go into trying to qualify for the World Cup next year. I think if we
Yes.
continue to push like this, Avery, I'm sure when we do make it, because I'm very hopeful that
Mm,
we will. When we
amen.
do make it, that our fans will go and support us wherever, whether in Canada, Mexico, or the USA,
Yes.
wherever that it goes. But before you go, Avery, I just wanted to ask, like on a personal note, what emerging trends in sports marketing are you most excited about?
Emerging trends. Well, I see that in just general sports marketing, not necessarily specific to soccer, football, whatever you call it. I notice media being appreciated even more, and appreciated in the sense that it is important that we catch the moment. The different types of media personnel capture the moment in different ways, gives us different point of views. They are a part of the process because we as promoters or just federations and companies can keep events, but that storyline that is being built and the people that it takes to build that out, I'm seeing it being taken more seriously. So we are getting improved quality in the things that we put out. We're getting people adapting international ways of interviewing. We're seeing more sports media personnel as well And we're actually seeing people going into hosting. We're seeing, so I think, I don't know if it is a trend. It is a trend, and it's something that can develop into just a better media landscape. We eventually have shows like reviewing, like watch parties, professional stuff that we look at internationally. And I'm seeing that their bodies that are being created. For example, notable one being Knockings, having his media team grow. That we're getting to see everything all at once in one place, that type of thing. So that's what I would say. Other than that, because human resource is very important to me, I think it's just very good to see the younger generation being able to press into a space that had a lot of elders and a lot of seniors in the way that only them can do, because it's a more youthful endeavor, the media and technology. So it's good to see that they can pierce and prove their value with their skill, and that's what I would say is out of the park for me.
Great, great. All right, Avery, I want to thank you so much for passing through to Sports Talk
Well,
today. I mean, sorry.
I said, of course, of course.
Yeah. I knew of obviously as I continue to say about your work, because I have to talk about your work anytime I
No,
mention it
no.
to anyone at all. But just you as a person and your work and all this work that you do with the JFF now, and I'm hoping that will do, because I mean you started out on a very, very strong note, and we're knowing that if it's you, it must continue and things will just continue to increase and increase. And just want to say, thank you for the work that you've put in so far. We're looking forward to all the other partnerships and
Of course.
everything that will come through the marketing of the JFF led by you. Thank you, Avery, so much for passing through
Thank
today. We
you.
really, really appreciate it.
Yes. One love.
All right, thank you.
Yes,
Have a
later.
good one.
You too.
All right. All right, that was the marketing manager at the Jamaica Football Federation, Miss Avery Campbell. And of course, guys, Avery spoke about it. The Reggae Girls match coming up in the USA June 3rd. Can catch us on GFF Live. World Cup qualifiers coming up. The Gold Cup is coming up. And of course, feel free. I mean, I should have later. I should have allowed her to say it. But of course, you can follow the GFF on all social media platforms. And trust me, and if you're not following, also, yeah, man, I'm plugging. Since I didn't give Avery a chance to plug the JFF's WhatsApp channel, broadcast channel, both on, well, the one on WhatsApp and the one on Instagram. Follow them. Persons always say, how do you get these things? It's because you're in media. Why you getting the videos and you getting the no. These things are posted in the JFF WhatsApp channel and the JFF broadcast channel on Instagram. You just need to follow them and all the updates will come to you in real time. So you want to get on that, especially as we get the new players and the introduction to the new players will come and all of that. So very excited. Just before we go, I just want to say in terms of, so the Oklahoma Thunder, they were the Western Conference finalists. Tonight it will be the Knicks in the Eastern Conference final. That's going on. Knicks they're still trailing in that series. Knicks against the Pacers. That series is now 2-3 in favor of the Pacers. We're going into game 6 tonight. Back at the Pacers for game 6. Very interesting game coming up. You want to stick for that. And of course, by the time we talk, we'll be talking about the going into the NBA finals. So yeah. This has been Sports Talk. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Of course, we do this every Saturday between the hours of 1 to 2 p.m. I'm Kathya Davis. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a great one.